My best months on Etsy were around $40,000. And I want to be really clear about something because I think this is where most people get the wrong idea about what scaling actually looks like. Those were not my hardest working months. They were genuinely easier than the months where I made a fraction of that. That sounds like a lie, but it isn't. It's just that at some point, I stopped trying to make more sales and started trying to make more with each sale. And those are two completely different things. So today, I want to show you the 3 things that I actually changed because none of them were work harder. Here's why this matters more than any tactic I could give you. If you're currently growing your shop, there's a really good chance that the only lever you know how to pull is to add more, do more. More listings, more hours, more designs, more posting. And that works right up until it doesn't, because that lever has a ceiling, and that ceiling is you. You cannot outwork your way to a real business. You will burn out first. Trust me, I know. I've watched it happen to sellers who are genuinely talented. And the thing that stopped them was never a lack of effort. The sellers who actually scale are the ones who figure out how to make the same amount of work produce more money. And that's the whole skill. It's learnable and it's teachable. It's not a personality trait and it's not luck. Think about 2 restaurants on the same street. Same size dining room, same number of tables, and they're both full on a Friday night. Same hours from the staff, same heat in the kitchen, and one of them does 3 times the revenue compared to the other. Not because they served more people, they physically can't. The rooms are the same size. It's what's on the check. One place takes your order, brings you an entree, and then hands you a bill. The other starts you with something to share, asks you about wine, and puts the dessert menu in your hand before you've decided if you want dessert or not. Same number of guests, same amount of work, more or less, totally different number at the bottom line. That's the whole thing. Most Etsy shops are the first restaurant. They're taking one order from a customer who came in ready to spend more. So let me show you how I stopped doing that. Quick thing before I get into it. Everything I'm about to describe assumes your listings are already built properly. Real keywords, real photos, sustainable pricing. If they're not, none of this works because you'll be trying to scale something that's leaking. That's what my 30-day Etsy shop growth plan is for. One focused task in order. The first 2 weeks, fix what's already live. And the back half is exactly this, expanding your product line and building traffic. It's linked below if you want the whole thing laid out day by day. Okay, 3 changes. As most of you know by now, I sold in the party space. So change 1, I sold the occasion, not the product. This is just like the restaurant thing, and it's the biggest of all 3 by a mile. My customer wasn't buying an invitation. She was throwing a first birthday party. The invitation was just the first thing she happened to search for. So once I had themes that were working, I built out everything else she would need for that party. The welcome sign, the milestone boards, the table cards, the thank yous, the banner, the cupcake toppers, favor tags, water bottle labels, the whole thing. Every one of those is now its own listing, which does 2 things at once. And the second is the part most people miss. Obviously, it raises what she spends because she's not buying just one thing anymore. But it also raises your order count, and Etsy pays attention to the number of orders coming in. A shop moving a lot of small items looks alive to the algorithm and starts showing you to more people. So this strategy doesn't just buy you more money per customer, but it quietly buys you more customers as well. Step 2, I added something more expensive. Here's a mistake I made for way too long. Everything in my shop was on the lower price end. $6, $4, $12, which meant in order to have a big month, I needed an enormous amount of orders. So I added a high ticket item to the same themes that I was already selling. In my case, that was tapestries, print on demand, and personalized. Because I chose to add personalization, I sold more of them, and I could charge a premium price. My largest tapestry I sold for $120. My cost was $45. That's a $75 profit margin. Now think about what this does to a month. That one sale is worth roughly 15 of my small ones. It took me no additional design time because I used a design that I already had and knew was converting. And print on demand meant I wasn't making it, packaging it, and shipping it. Then I listed all the pieces as one full bundle. Everything for the party, one higher price, and a better deal for her. Now the same theme had a $6 front door and a $120 ceiling, and the customer decided which one she wanted. Step 3, I stopped rebuilding from scratch. This is the one that really protected my hours. I had a design style that worked, and I reused it on everything. New theme, same layout, same structure, swap the elements. My whole shop ran on about 10 different designs. I did the same thing with photos. I tested different mock-ups. For example, I tested 3 mock-ups for my invitations. I found a clear winner, and then that invitation mock-up was used for every invitation in my shop. So by the time I was running really big months, adding a new theme wasn't a big project. It was an afternoon. The thinking was already done. I was just swapping in new ingredients. That's the part that makes the other 2 possible. It's really time consuming to build a new bundle if each design is starting from scratch. So a $40,000 month was never one big thing. It was a lot of small orders because I was selling for an entire occasion, a handful of expensive ones because I had something worth buying at that upper price range, and none of it was costing me much time because I wasn't continuously reinventing. And I want to be completely honest with you. This is not a hack. It didn't happen quickly. It took me a couple of years to really figure it out, mostly by accident. And I made a lot of $6 sales long before I made the $120 sales. But the shift itself is simple enough that you could start this week. Pick your best-selling product and then ask what else that customer needs. And then go build that. You're not looking for more customers. You're looking at the customers you already have and noticing everything you haven't offered them. The day-by-day version is linked below if you want it. Subscribe if you want more like this. I'll see you in the next one.